And they fake a Vin Diesel thing, right? Like he's, and you're like, well, we know you're not dead. Someone's got to continue. I love the movie, by the way. I'm giving it a good review, but not because of Vin Diesel's performance. Oh, he's the worst. He's the worst.
I don't have friends.
Furious 7 comes out this weekend in theaters, and it famously features scenes with the digital Paul Walker, because Paul Walker died tragically during the filming of the movie. Now, I've seen the film, and I'll have my full review on my blog and at the Journal World in print on Sunday, but this video blog is all about other movies and other actors who have undergone the same treatment. What I will say about Furious 7 is it's really not that noticeable. There's a couple moments at the end of the film where it's a little bit weird, but I think that's also because we're looking for it. The whole movie has this kind of pall over it because we know that he's died, and there's that moment where we're just kind of, waiting for something weird to happen. So other than that, I think they did a really good job, and the little tribute at the end is actually kind of moving. So good on the Furious 7. Other movies that have used the same technique, Laurence Olivier was resurrected for Sky Captain and The World of Tomorrow. And the crazy thing is they used archival footage from the BBC. And I think this is one of the best examples of this because he's a hologram. So the hologram doesn't have to look like a real person. So it's very digitized and messed up and crazy looking, and that just makes it work all the better. Another great version of this is that Marlon Brando, the estate of Marlon Brando, gave permission to the makers of Superman Returns, the much maligned Bryan Singer film, which I defend to the ends of the earth as being better than Man of Steel, that features Marlon Brando, original unused footage from Superman. And again, he's projected onto the Fortress of Solitude, so there's a lot of depth things, and it makes it a little bit more realistic because it doesn't have to be perfect. So those are two examples of really good versions of digital dead people. Oliver Reed was one of the first ones that I ever noticed on film. He died of a heart attack during the filming of Gladiator, and the best thing that they did in this movie was turn out the lights. So now it's really hard to see that that's not really Oliver Reed in the same scene as Russell Crowe. That worked out pretty good as well. That did not. The bottom line is that the more messed up the image is, the more we're going to buy it on screen. Because right now, looking at two people sitting in a room with perfect lighting and trying to make that rubbery face work is really, really tough. I hate Forrest Gump with a passion, and even worse than the movie itself is what they did to John Lennon and JFK and Richard Nixon, and I even think Elvis is supposed to be in this movie too. But yeah, those scenes just stick out like a sore thumb, but partially it's because of the dumb script, and the idea of putting him in there is just so offensive and lame in the first place. The last one, I guess, that I want to mention, no digital effects needed, and probably because they didn't have the budget to support it, but when Brandon Lee died tragically on the set of The Crow, they had a stunt double finish his parts, and I think that what happened here that made it work is the fact that the Crow's wearing makeup the whole time. So if there's a lot of shadows and you've got a guy in makeup and he generally has the same body type and face, I think you can pull that off, which is the only thing that we have to explain who's really behind Gene Simmons' makeup these days. That's all I have. Yeah, think about it. Yeah. Kiss fans want to know. We demand to know.